Hey, welcome back to From the Abyss. How was that? How did that sound? Probably sound like hot shit, but that's okay. Um, Today I have my friend Brandon on with me, so you want to say hi?
What's up, peoples?
Yeah. He's also a very musically inclined person, so that's probably where the conversation will be heading for today, which is absolutely fine by me because I have no life, so it's not like I
I,
can really
I
talk
play
about.
guitar.
Yeah. So yeah, if everybody listening, sorry that there wasn't a podcast last week. I did not feel the best to do the podcast. I don't know, my voice wasn't feeling it, and yeah, you know
It
how
was
it
a
is when
common
you're
cold
sick.
or something.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, but I just didn't feel right because I did the third episode when I was kind of sick, and I mean, I thought it was a decent episode. I just think it could have been a little bit better. So I
Yeah,
figured I'd just completely skip it this time. And I recorded two YouTube videos instead, so it's
I mean, you can't have your best without having your worst, so it doesn't matter.
that's true, but like I don't know. I feel like there's a certain level of like quality, at least in the audio
Yeah,
department, that I want to uphold. Like I don't care if the visuals are the best because it's not really about that. Even the videos that I record, like that, it's just me. It's I don't think the visuals are really what's the most important.
yeah.
It's just
See, that's
more
because
what I
that's
say.
because we're musicians and we care only about audio.
Yeah, I don't even know if it really comes from that. I didn't. I like watching like not necessarily low edited content, but sometimes it's just nice to hear just a guy talking about
Yeah,
something.
that's true.
It's like
I mean, I guess
whenever.
that's kind of what a podcast is.
Oh yeah, that's why I wanted to do podcasts in the first place is to make that kind of content that I listen to all
Just
the
a
time from other people.
yeah, just a nice calming chat between people.
Yeah, sometimes some funny stuff, some whatever.
Sometimes some not so calming stuff.
Yeah. I forget what me and Dosser talked about the first episode. We talked about hot Cheetos and we went immediately into like our ass burning because of hot Cheetos or something like that on the very first episode.
Me as a person who doesn't really like spicy foods, those are dangerous because I
Yeah.
wasn't paying attention one day. I was making normal Cheetos. I grabbed a good handful and I slapped those suckers in my mouth. Next thing I know, I'm in the freaking kitchen grabbing as much milk as I can fit.
Yeah, well, I mean, Lil Xan went to the hospital for eating too many of them. So, like,
For real?
I well, I don't know if that's true or not. I just saw the headlines like a couple years ago, and I was just like, "Damn, that's crazy," and I just never looked into it. Because I mean, stuff like that isn't really like stuff that you have to like look into in order to like you don't have to fact check Lil Xan going to the hospital. Certain other
Yeah.
things that happen, you might need to do some looking around, but
I mean, with a name like Lil Xan, his name referring to Xanax, I'm assuming.
yeah.
You really don't have to look into the fact that he's in the hospital. It's bound to happen.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's like all musicians joining the 27 Club. It's bound to happen.
uh,
Well, not
um,
all of them. Only the
well,
only only the best ones. That's why I stay constantly bad at music.
uh, my God. So yeah, speaking of guitar, what made you want to start playing guitar? Because I know exactly why I wanted to start playing.
Oh, that's actually a really funny story. So one day, I was in a Slinky Action Zone,
All right, this is already off to a good start.
and they had a Guitar Hero machine in Slinky Action Zone.
Oh, really?
It was a long time ago.
Okay.
Like I was like 7,
Does Slinky
literally.
Action so is Slinky Action Zone just like an arcade too?
It's
I've never been there.
how to describe it? I think easiest way to describe it is Chuck E. Cheese with extra.
Okay.
Yeah, it's literally just Chuck E. Cheese with a lot more to do.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like laser tag, bumper cars that are so clapped out that it's not even funny. You have a better chance doing a handstand on a roller coaster without the bar down, surviving. But
All right.
beside that point, um, anyway, so yeah, they had a Guitar Hero machine. My dad was helping me hold the guitar up because for some reason those Guitar Heroes that are in the arcades are like the heaviest thing in the world.
Oh, so
Like,
vintage Les Paul.
yeah, but made out of plastic, and it makes no sense how they make them so heavy. It's like, oh well, we know the target audience, little children. Oh yeah, hey, so you like having back problems before you're 10, right? Yeah. Well, either way, there was one song I'd always play it constantly because I liked how it sounded and it was easy to play.
Hmm.
Pat Bentar's "Hit Me with Your Best Shot."
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
That
That's
song,
solid. Solid.
I played it 5 times in a row that day, and on the last one, my dad goes, "You really like playing this game, huh?" I'm like, "I want a real guitar for
Okay.
Christmas." Well, Christmas came along and I got my Stratocaster. And then he got me the Rocksmith bundle with it,
Ooh, okay.
and I started learning from there. I gave it up for about a year and a half till I started hanging out with James, and then he's like, "Oh, you have a guitar? I'm gonna play that." Okay,
Yeah. For
because
context, listeners, James is a mutual friend of ours.
yeah, and I just kind of had it sitting around because I just really didn't have motivation to play it because the only thing I could play was the intro for "Pour Some Sugar on Me." That was it,
Oh, okay.
and it was horribly whiffed, but whatever, details.
Yeah, it happens.
And so I just kind of had it sitting around because I didn't think, oh yeah, I'm not going nowhere with it. And then James started playing it, and I'm like, okay, obviously I got to do something because he plays guitar and he was better than me at the time. And I'm like, okay, that kind of seems fun because he was, he tuned it straight down immediately and then did some chuggy stuff.
Hmm. Hmm.
Even though I had, I think, 9 gauge strings, he was in like drop B or something.
Oh
But
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. That absolutely cursed. But I've been there, so yeah, I know how
Yeah.
that feels.
Oh yeah. But so we started doing all that, and I'm like, I don't know, I just had a spark of play this.
Yeah,
Which
that's cool.
I don't know if you remember, Travis, in fourth I think fourth grade talent show. Remember we had that talent show?
We had a talent show in fourth grade.
Well, it was one of the grades. There was a talent show. It's
I
like, oh, if you have it
I do
some
not
form
remember
of
that at all.
well, if you have some form of talent, well, then show it. Okay, well, the only thing I thought I was good at was guitar. I mean,
Okay.
I can't stand up on my hands for 20 minutes straight and give myself like bloody noses, but
Oh yeah,
I can't do.
you'd die if you stay like that for too long, because all the blood goes to your brain. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, whatever. Details are details. But so I'm like, okay, well, the only way I know how to really play anything is if I'm watching Rocksmith while I'm doing it. So in turn, the talent show led to me getting constantly yelled at by my parents not to break the PlayStation 3, the teachers trying to convince me not to bring the PlayStation 3, everybody trying and saying, don't do that. Don't. Do not bring that PlayStation 3 to play Rocksmith. I'm like, what else do you want me to do? Do you want me to sit there, look stupid, or count to 10? I can count to 10.
Yeah,
um, so
that's actually kind of big. I mean, for a fourth grader, that's pretty impressive. I feel like.
that's true. It's pretty funny. Then I became a drummer in 5th grade till senior year. Now I can count to only 4
Yeah, that usually happens when you
on a
learn music.
very rare occasion. 6/8.
Yeah, very. Yeah, on the rare The rare occasion that is.
Literally, because of marching band, when I walk, I literally hear 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 in
God.
my head. Or whenever I'm riding my bike, if I want to like focus on the fact that I'm not in shape,
Hmm.
if I want to not focus on that fact, I'll actually count my pedals in time.
Okay.
But either way, and so I played No More Mr. Nice Guy.
Okay.
I played No More Mr. Nice Guy for the entire fourth grade and completely whiffed it because that's not actually that easy of a song.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Huh.
Although, to be fair, I really don't remember much of elementary school, so.
I mean, that probably would have been the only memorable thing for you because otherwise it was, all the girls who were on junior cheerleading doing cartwheels and front flips and thinking they were hot
Oh,
shit. But
well, I wasn't even really interested in music at all back then, so
that might
even
also.
yeah, because I didn't really start becoming like a metalhead until like sixth grade. That was whenever I
Yeah.
started getting into it, and my dad was showing me bands. He showed me like Five Finger Death Punch and Slipknot and Avenged Sevenfold
Yeah.
and all the entry level bands that people get into. Metallica.
I still remember a good memory I have from my young childhood, like 3, 4 years old. I
Okay.
was always my dad has a stereo over where we used to live,
Hmm.
and we would always blast music. So I'm playing whatever. My mom's playing, Guns N' Roses, all the typical middle-aged parents listen to on a daily music that
Okay.
I listen to because it's good music.
Yeah.
So and then I'm like, and then I can't even remember what song it was, and I'm like, that's really low and heavy and something. I said something. My dad goes, "Oh, you want to see heavy?" So he plays some song. I don't even. You just hear like the lowest drop seven tuning, and
Mhm.
then you just hear just straight like low growl, and I'm like, yeah,
I probably played some pretty nasty shit then.
yeah.
Because I was gonna
And then,
say it was probably like corn or something like that, but I
oh
don't
no,
know.
no, 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 I don't even know what it was. But and I told him like I'm never gonna listen to that kind of music, and then now on my way to work every day I play Death Clock, so I
Okay, yeah,
guess
yeah,
goes full circle, huh?
yeah. I remember being like 13 or 14 and trying and listening to like Cannibal Corpse for the first time and being like, yeah, I don't really like death metal. And then me now, going into college and listening to bands like fucking Lorna Shore and like Behemoth and stuff like that. Just
Mm,
ridiculous, the most ridiculous stuff ever.
yeah, yeah. No, it's like it seriously is like the older you get, it just everything changes.
Yeah,
Like your music taste, your everything, literally. My
yeah.
little cousin, he figured out that death metal was a thing.
Ah,
He's like 12, 12,
okay,
12. Yeah, he figured out death metal was a thing.
nice.
He came into my room, which he's at the stage of puberty where his voice just dropped to. You're
Ah,
cracking at everything he says, so he'll come in and like this, and he's talking, and everything's breaking. You're like, oh god, I was there at one point, and I hate the fact that I was.
uh, I
And
don't
then he
think
goes,
my voice was ever like that. I mean, yeah, it had its moments, but it was never like super squeaky. I think as my voice was always just super
uh,
low.
let's not let's not look up my YouTube channel then. Uh, but either way, so he comes into my room the one day, and he goes, "Oh, did you ever hear this song?" I'm like, "What song?" He literally like pushes me out of my computer chair, and he's over here clicking away on my keyboard. And next thing I know, I just hear like a like the craziest drum fill you've ever heard. I was
uh,
like, because I wasn't really looking, and I'm like, who is this? It sounds familiar. I look up Infant Annihilator. I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I
yeah.
recognize that drum beat. And then he goes, he goes, "You know how to play drums? Can you teach me how to play Cunt Crusher?" I'm like, no, there's no possible shot you're ever gonna play that.
Yeah, as I mean, Infinite Annihilator's like pretty well known for like editing their stuff together. Like their stuff isn't even humanly possible to play. That's why they don't tour ever.
Yeah, the
Because they
reason
know
Dragon
there's
Force didn't tour for
just
the first half of their career.
yeah, they had kind of a rough start, at least to touring. They had a hard time sounding good. Now they sound great, but
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
now they're like ungodly.
Mhm. So yeah, I we got a little sidetracked. I didn't get to talk about my guitar story, so I'll just sprinkle that in now. Basically, what happened was, well, I guess I could start from my journey of starting to get into music. Basically, I had heard Seether on the radio, and I was like, it sounded cool. I didn't know what it was. My mom knew because she listens to rock music too, and so does my dad. Obviously, he's a big metalhead. So that's kind of how I got my start, and then my dad just introduced me to like more entry level bands. I mean, he didn't just bands that he liked a lot, and I just got into it that way. And after a couple years, I was bored in algebra one day, and I was just like, you know what? I kind of do want to learn how to play the guitar. So then I got my first guitar, my first amp, and started. It took me a little bit to actually like fully start learning, but once I did, I got obsessed with it, and now I've been playing for about 4 years, 4.5 years now,
Yeah,
and
everybody like
yeah,
everybody always says, "Oh, I'm gonna start guitar. I'm gonna try guitar." You have to buy the right. Like, you don't need to buy the craziest amp to start off with, but your guitar has to feel right.
yeah. And I mean,
Like,
if you're a total beginner, I mean, I feel like that's kind of hard to gauge,
yeah,
but
but like even if you give somebody, a Fender Squire, like my
yeah,
Squire, it plays, feels, and sounds like an actual Fender due
mhm,
to, one, it's over a decade old at this point,
yeah,
and it's just, I don't know. I guess I just got lucky with Squire's quality control.
yeah. Most of the Squire stuff isn't too bad. It's just usually the electronics that are the worst part about them, because that's kind of where
Yeah,
most of the cost cutting parts of it go into, like usually the pickups.
yeah. Well, I do have a nice set coming from mine. I have some double stacked single coils coming for it,
Okay, neat.
hum cancellation and everything.
Ooh, yeah, some nice noiseless pickups. That's good
Yeah,
for
I
Fender
finally,
guitars.
I have finally found a good use for the Metal Zone pedal though.
Okay.
You know that pedal that everybody says is
Yeah,
renowned for being.
yeah, and then the Wazacraft version came out. Now everybody loves
Mhm.
it.
Well, I have the original version,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the year it came out version too.
the old, the old
Yeah.
one.
Um, with my Dimebag guitar and the amp that I have, which it's
Hmm.
a Vox Valvetronics amp.
Okay, yeah,
So it's like a hybrid. It has a preamp tube and then it's the rest digital or whatever. Um, you saw it, but
yeah, yeah. It's just a little like practice amp. That thing actually surprisingly sounds like pretty damn good. Like I was
it hit.
surprised.
It had some volume, and I wasn't even cranked on it either.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, most guitar amps are like that. You have to barely turn up the volume, and it's already like breaking your ears.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
still
I
have
will say
I
so.
still have no clue why the hell they make practice amps that loud. I don't. I just don't get that.
I mean, they got to be able to match a drum set. Is usually what they're going for.
Sure, but like
Like
that does that at like past like two or three.
that's true. That's true.
Not
But like this amp, if I wanted to tour with it right now, I have to obviously get PA speakers and mic it up. But it
right.
could it could easily work.
Mm.
Like it wouldn't be obviously the best quality
Yeah.
because it's not
Yeah. Who really
it's
gives
not
a fuck?
it's not the highest end of amps, but I mean if I really needed to
Yeah,
tour with
the
it,
people,
it's possible.
the people that would be watching you probably wouldn't know that anyway. So
No, no, and it wouldn't be big shows either. It'd be bars.
yeah, small little
So I
club
really
shows.
probably,
So
I probably won't even need to mic it up. But yeah, the Metal Zone mixed with my new octave pedal I just bought, and the just the whole combo that I have here is works perfect with the Metal Zone.
Mm,
If you have the slightest bit of octave behind it, like an octaver pedal, it
yeah,
I
my
don't know, it helps it a lot.
my Digitech drop pedal does. You can have it so that it can go down to a full octave. It can detune down to a full octave, or you can do a
Yeah.
full octave plus the dry signal. And I like to do that for some songs.
Mm.
Like
Well, I just bought the
whenever I jam along to song 96 Quite Bitter Beings by
mm,
CKY, like
oh yeah.
I don't I think it's the way the song is mixed that like the guitar and the bass are pretty much equal, so it sounds like the guitar is tuned like an octave down. So I just do that to play
Okay,
that
yeah.
song.
Yeah, that makes sense. But now up at Guitars and Stuff, which is a local guitar
Yeah,
shop
yeah,
for
very
here.
nice, very nice store. I buy all my
I
shit from
love the
there.
dude who I love the dude who owns that place. He's the nicest guy.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's a legend.
Oh yeah. Which fun story about him? The one day I was talking about something's wrong with my car or something because I was just doing something or whatever, and we got into a
Mhm.
conversation. He goes, "Oh, you should see my car if you like fast cars. It's a Pontiac. It's got a V8 in it. It's got a killer stereo too." And I'm like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be me in the future."
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
I did have that idea of whenever he finally wants to hang in the boots of maybe trying to purchase that store because I'll get all the dealer stuffs with it,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
that would be
registered dealer.
yeah, that would definitely be a good business venture to get into. Would be a store like that, or
Yeah,
really just kind of like a small business or something that you're passionate about.
yeah, exactly. Because guitars, I mean, he does the setups. I know how to set up a guitar.
Yeah, yeah, because
Cause
he's a luthier too, so he knows how to fix everything with it and all that
yeah,
stuff. So
so that's kind of what my idea was. Because I mean, he's not old, but he's up there in age, so and that's just how it goes with everything.
yeah,
Eventually, everybody hangs in the boots.
yeah, yeah, of course.
But oh, we got sidetracked again. So this Octaver I bought, it
That's fine.
it's not like the Digitech pedal that you have, because I'm sure yours can go up octave, right? If I
No,
read
it
them
can't.
correctly.
It only goes down.
Oh,
But I
okay,
mean, that's all I needed to do. So
that's true.
I'm not complaining about that.
That's true. Well, I bought this TC Electronic. It's called the Nether Octaver,
Okay.
and basically it does normal octave and sub octave. So you can
What's
get like some low
ooh?
tones out of guitar. Like I'm
Okay.
talking an octave lower than bass guitar.
Oh shit, that's like some. Oh god.
And it's an analog pedal, so it's kind of like if you try mixing in notes, you get a weird effect, and it's just a fun pedal to mess around with.
Okay, that's neat.
But
Yeah, I don't need anything that crazy. I mostly just use the drop pedal because I like to play in
yeah,
different tunings, and I don't
and
want to.
it's
And I have multiple guitars, but I don't want to set them all up for different string gauges and different tunings because sometimes they just don't have a vibe for a certain tuning. They have a certain guitar,
yeah, and
and
sometimes you just want to use a guitar for something else,
yeah,
which is the only issue I have with my Dimebag guitar. The fact that he switched his tunings around.
yeah.
I have it in D standard because it'll cover most of their songs.
Yeah, that's like most Pantera songs do that. Do you tune
Right.
it down to like the weird like quarter step tuning that he does, or he tunes it down like to like
Not yet.
a few cents? Okay, I mess with that
I
tuning
haven't.
sometimes, and it's fun, but it severely limits. what you can do because to my knowledge of I think it's 432 hertz is what Dime played in because you just tune by ear and that's just how I figured it out. But I figured all the Pantera stuff is in that tuning. Well, I can't speak for the Glam era because I never listened to it, but all the ones that are widely available, that's all in 432. And then Megadeth's Peace Sells But Who's Buying is in 432 E
Yeah.
standard, which I found out the hard way trying to jam along to songs from that on guitar and just tuning up straight up 8 to 440. And I'm like, it doesn't sound right. It sounds like I'm out of tune. And I check my tune and I'm like, no. And then I'm like, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why
I
it doesn't
haven't.
sound right.
Well, basically, what happened with this guitar was it came the dude who sold it to me, put strings on it, but you know how with a Floyd Rose you have to clip the ball and then thread it into the back or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't thread it in far enough, so the one string came out, and I just physically couldn't get the length to put it back in.
It got it too short.
Yeah, so I ended up just restringing the whole thing, and then the bridge wouldn't sit where I wanted it to, so I got mad at it and kind of let it sit for a day, and then
Yeah,
tried it.
that's how Floyd roses are. That's why I blocked the one on my 7 string.
Oh, yeah, I can see why you do it on a 7.
Yeah, because I mean I still don't use the whammy bar for anything, so it's just like, and I mean that's good. That's a guitar I'm taking with college, and I want to be able to go from standard B to drop.
Yeah, what are you going to college for? I never asked
Uh,
on.
Marketing.
Oh, okay, okay.
So yeah, and I'll be learning all sorts of different like business stuff within that major. So
Mm,
because I could really apply that skill set to almost anything. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. I
yeah,
chose the workforce route.
yeah. I mean that works for a lot of people. So
Yeah, the current
no shame in that.
current current job I'm in right now, they're not paying much at all, and I have to drive 35 minutes every day to and
Yeah,
from. Well, 35 there, probably more back because Altoona traffic sucks.
yeah,
But whatever, you got to start somewhere, and it's giving me experience. So,
yeah, yeah. That's just the way you gotta look at it.
oh yeah. So, but I forgot what I was gonna say. I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, my brain was just kind of empty. So
Mine,
Stranger
mine's always.
Things, Metallica,
I
Metallica in Stranger Things is really cool. I haven't watched the show because I don't have Netflix, but I saw the scene on YouTube and I thought that was really cool.
yeah, I've never watched Stranger Things either.
Yeah, I heard it's a
Yep.
good show. If I ever get Netflix again, I will definitely watch it. But I just saw that they put Metallica Master of Puppets in the last episode, and I just thought that was really cool because I mean now a lot more people are going to be introduced to Metallica, so
Oh yeah.
I think that's great. I know some people were
Yeah.
upset about it, be like, "Oh, fake fans" or whatever, but who cares?
Hey, if people are starting to get into the music, then whatever it is, what it is. Like,
Yeah.
cause you know it's a bad sign. Whenever I was leaving guitars and stuff the other day, I bought a. My friend's turning 16, and I said, okay, well I'm gonna make your 16th birthday a little extra special. I bought him a bass guitar because he's been nagging his mom for the past probably 2 3 years to get him a bass guitar. Well,
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
cool.
okay, I have some extra funding around right now. I can do that. So I went up. The dude at Guitars and Stuff had some Glary bass guitars. I know Glary's not like, crazy brand, but
Yeah.
it'll. I played it. It plays nice, sounds nice.
Yeah.
So I
Their
said, okay,
stuff
whatever.
is I've heard is decent enough.
Oh, for what it is, it's entry level easily.
Yeah.
But um, so he had a good deal on it. I said, okay, yeah, I'll take it. That's great. Um, so I bought that, and I forget where I was going. Oh, that's right. Never mind. I remember. So when I was leaving with the bass guitar, the dude from Guitars and Stuff said, "Keep rock alive,"
Hmm.
and I'm like, I don't know. It just hit me different
Yeah. I can I can see that.
because it is pretty true. Rock is kind of a dying breed with the way that. No, that's tough
I
to
wouldn't say
say.
so.
It's tough to say. In some ways it is, in some it's not. I mean, because the general population is going more towards rap right now.
I
It's
think
either
that's. I honestly think that that's a loud like minority. Like, sure, obviously there's a lot of listeners within that genre, but how many of those people are like seriously into the music? A lot of people probably just put on whatever's popular just for
yeah.
something to have on in the background. It's not all those people are like serious like fans of music, and that's what they listen to. I think that I think I always find it funny whenever like somebody like Gene Simmons talks about rock dying. Yeah, he's literally in one of the most popular rock bands ever, and he plays massive shows still.
Yeah,
50 years into his
he
career.
said he
So
says that fans killed the music because of downloading distributions and whatever else.
yeah, I think that's dumb. I
I
don't
mean,
agree with that. I think if anything, it's
he
made it more popular because it's made it more accessible.
I think he just didn't choose his words correctly.
Maybe, maybe he did, but
That's also me being a lifelong Kiss fan.
yeah, yeah, I can understand that. Maybe he meant like illegal downloading, like LiveWire and stuff
Yeah,
like that back in the day. But like nowadays, like streaming is obviously legal and free. So,
yeah,
and
that's
I'm sure
true.
it's helped out a ton of bands get
I mean, he's
big.
also complained about, I think YouTube or whatever streaming service it was.
Mm,
They're not getting paid for the ads that get played.
yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, it'd be hard for everybody to get properly paid
yeah,
what the proper royalties are. Whoever gets to determine what that is, because
yeah,
like I know I've talked about it before on here, but I know a lot of musicians like to complain about Spotify and how they don't get paid enough. But the thing is
mm,
that like I'm pretty sure Spotify operates at a loss, or I think it's one company that actually operates at a loss. So if they started
yeah,
giving out more money than they already do to artists and record labels, it would just instantly not be a company. They would just wouldn't be able to sustain themselves. So it's just
yeah,
I feel like people being like expected to make a living just off of making music, I feel like is that itself is outdated, and people should be looking to new business ventures to make money.
yeah. The one guy I work with actually is in a band. They do 60s and 70s style rock music.
Okay,
Like they make their own in that style.
okay,
And they're actually going down to Georgia in a week. They're getting a record deal.
okay, very nice.
And because of me, sticking my nose out there and jumping at it, I might be a part of it.
Okay, okay.
And the Extra Protection band that is getting
Oh God.
that is
Oh,
getting renamed. It
oh
is getting
God.
renamed.
That is some lore.
Mm-hmm.
I'll explain that real quick. Basically, me and Brandon here, we played a couple talent shows in our days of high school kids. So he came up with the name Extra Protection, which I still am not a fan of.
Because, well, because we were sitting out in the hallway, we were going up to play American Idiot, and Bobby, uh, kid who graduated way before us,
Yeah, kid who
was
probably
like,
shouldn't have been there.
well, no, that year I think he still was in high school or 1 year after
Yeah, I think
graduation.
that first year that we played with him was his senior year.
Yeah, I believe so. And we're on the hallway getting ready, literally like one performance away. Hey, we need a band name. Okay. So in my head, I'm thinking something that's inappropriate in a school appropriate way.
Yeah, like it's
So I
not
said
super
murder.
obvious what
Yeah.
it is, but if you think about it for like more than like a couple seconds, it's like, oh yeah, that's what that's about.
And then it pops in my head, extra protection. So I look at Bobby, I'm like, hey, you have to. No, this was 1 year after he graduated. Because I remember looking at him saying, hey, you have to say this because you can't get in trouble for it. And he goes, no, you have to say it. And I'm like, uh, uh, um. And
Yeah.
then Travis is, constantly trying to make me not say it because your dad was in the audience.
I don't even care about that. I don't remember the reasoning. for it. I don't know.
I mean, your
I was
your
just.
dad probably found it pretty funny.
He probably doesn't even remember.
That's fair. I mean, I from what I heard, Kara Rolls was still at Portage, and she was sitting next
Oh
to
yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah, yeah. Kara was the
mhm,
girl that went to school with us. Actually,
yep.
saw her a few months
Hmm.
ago,
I
and
saw her at
yeah,
the one football game. That was the last time I seen her,
oh, yeah,
and I couldn't really talk long because marching band, you know how it is.
yeah, of course.
But and she was sitting next to Mr. Cesari, our principal,
Yeah,
and apparently he laughed at it. So
yeah,
that might have been probably why you didn't want me to do it because you didn't want to get in trouble or anything.
yeah. I think that was the main reason because is I just
Yeah, you like to
especially
stay
for
out of
something,
trouble.
because I mean, even though it's stupid and it'd be funny, it's still like you know you get in
Yeah,
some discipline for that. It's just like I just try to avoid that shit as much as possible.
I mean, we got no discipline for it. Probably because Mr. Cesari laughed at it because he found it funny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, nobody ever mentioned anything to me about it, so I figured I was in the clear.
Yeah, one sec.
Yeah. So yeah, the whole that whole band name is just some the lore
It's I know that's why
between
it hurts. That's
us.
why it hurts to change the name. But the dude in the other server I'm in is a audio technician and everything, and he said if you want me to stick with your band, you have to change the name. I take my work seriously. I'm like that is serious.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
yeah, I can understand it, but like, I don't know. I feel like with a name like that, you kind of have to box yourself into something like that's a little bit
yeah,
more
kind of like
jokey.
yeah, that's kind of like
Because like whenever because whenever I think of that name, I always think of like some really like ironic like pop punk band.
yeah, that's
And I mean,
true.
that's not something that I would personally want to play if I was in a band. So that's
That's
part of
true.
why I'm not big on it. But
Yeah, that's fair. But well, no, because like with a name like that, ow! I put my finger in the computer fan. Sorry. Um, because with a name like that, it's pretty much going down the bro job like route,
yeah,
like literally doing everything for the meme.
yeah. And I mean, that
Like
worked out for Bro Job, but like
it won't
I
work for
can't.
everybody.
Yeah,
That wouldn't
and
work for me. I'm not good
yeah,
enough at writing to do such a thing.
yeah. Plus, I think it's harder to be funny, at least
It,
for music. Because I mean, sure,
yeah,
there's a band like Psycho Stick that is just super like goofy,
yeah,
but like it's hard to think like what will land, and just
yeah.
in not just a joke context, but in the context of a song.
That plus, everybody's mindsets are always changing nowadays. So a
Yeah,
song that was popular a year ago because it was funny, it's not funny anymore. I mean,
yeah,
people heard it 5 times and they're okay, cool. Songs, I'm turning this off.
yeah. People's senses of humor definitely change. I know mine's
So now,
gotten a lot different. Mine has changed a lot.
oh yeah, mine. Literally, I laugh at like the stupid things that I would never have laughed at before. I don't know if it's because of. I feel like it's like because when we graduated, nothing changed. But now that I'm starting, a full-time daily job, 8.5 hour days, 5 days a week. It's just kind of like I don't know. I find the simple things funny anymore.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
I always couldn't control my laughter before, but now it's worse.
yeah. I'll look at stuff and I'm like, I think part of it is like some stuff that I'll find hilarious because it's not funny. It's like I
Mm.
shouldn't be laughing at this. Why is this so funny?
You seriously question yourself. It's like, why, brain? What is up? Like you gotta like fact check yourself.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I don't know. My sense of humor definitely just kind of like I don't know. It grew up without me growing up, if that makes sense.
yeah. I can kind of understand that.
Because like whenever I'm just sitting around in my house, I still have full childhood like mentality.
Yeah.
Like make a joke out of everything that you can because it makes everything more positive.
Yeah. I
And then
think
I'm
that
at work.
I think that seriously helps with having like a more improvisational sense of humor, like being able to
Yeah,
think of stuff, be more witty, I guess.
yeah. But then I'm at work and I'm working on some vehicle that shouldn't even be worked on, and I'm over here, you piece of shit, fuck you, screaming at the car that's inanimate and can't hear me.
Yeah.
Even though most of them are electronic nowadays and probably can hear me, but besides the point. Um,
Yeah, and I mean now like with electric cars and everything, it's just gonna be able to be
yeah,
fully self-sufficient.
that terrifies me because I seen the one dude working on one of those autonomous Teslas, and oh my goodness, I'm good. There is more wires than car.
Oh, I'm sure.
And none of the clips you can get none of them off without breaking them. So you already have to buy like half the car again.
Yeah,
So it's yeah, no, they're not. Modern cars are not as fun as the old ones. Old ones, you take a wrench of some kind and start hitting things, and it works better.
yeah.
But
I don't know.
what was I gonna say? What was I gonna say?
Yeah, something. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Trying to think of
I
stuff to talk
probably
about.
I was gonna say something. I can't remember.
Mm,
But the audio technician that I'm working with on all this band stuff, he said you got to change that name or else it's like
yeah, that.
I'm not working with you
Yeah,
because
you mentioned that.
I take my work seriously and it's just like yeah, I mean I understand that. The only problem is now I got to think of a name that has the same funniness but also like it's actually good.
Yeah,
And like the hardest
could
part,
always go on like a name generator website. That's literally how I came up with the name for this podcast.
yeah, true, but it's just kind of like it's really hard. It's like because extra protection actually has a story behind it.
Hmm.
Like it has a legit story behind it.
Yeah.
So it's hard to like just ditch it. But we did come to a compromise, and I do get to name an album Extra Protection.
Okay. That that
Because,
that's good.
well, here's the idea we have. We kind of want to take our style, which me, I have the metal.
Right.
The one dude who, which Bobby, he plays guitar and drums. And
Okay.
then I don't know if you know Robert. You might know Robert.
See, younger kid.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He was supposed to play drums, but he's having knee issues because he grew too tall too quickly.
Oh.
So he's
Okay.
having like actual knee issues to where his legs lock up and he just can't walk.
Oh shit.
So, which he's the person I bought that bass for because, like
Oh
I
yeah.
said, he's been begging for it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's nice.
And um, so I figured if he actually enjoys playing bass, we could put him on bass, switch Bobby off rhythm guitar to drums, and then I'll be lead guitar, which then leaves a rhythm guitar opening, which Rob wanted to try and have his friend be rhythm guitar, and the one time that we all played together, I really just didn't.
Just didn't
It,
vibe with them.
he just wanted to screw around. He wasn't actually like really.
Oh,
I
didn't
mean,
want to actually have like a more serious practice.
yeah, like I told him like, hey, get your jokes out now. I want to be kind of serious. And the whole time we'd stop the song, he'd make a joke or something, and then it would lead off to 10 minutes worth of talking, and then before we knew it, we're out of time. So I really don't. Which it sucks and it's tough because that's all he wants to do with his life is be a musician. But I mean, I'm looking out for myself. Sometimes you have to do that, and it's
Yeah.
tough. But
Yeah. Obviously, you can't be a doormat for everyone, and that's something that I have to kind of get out
yeah,
of too.
because I don't know if you've noticed through high school of dealing with me, which that's how I'm going to put it. But I always tried to have like everybody like have an equal respect. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Like, obviously, I'd make jokes and everything to
Now that
pick,
you mention it, I can see that.
like, I always made jokes to pull people's chains and everything, but I always like
Yeah,
showed everybody respect who deserved it.
yeah, yeah,
Like, if
yeah.
they
Now,
didn't deserve respect, I didn't show it to them.
right, yeah, yeah. Now that you mention it, yeah, I see that now.
Like,
Just
because I mean, you didn't do nothing to me. Why should I do anything to you?
mhm. Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I try to be. I always try to be nice to everybody, but if I'm if I'm getting shit, then I'm not gonna take it.
Yeah, some people just don't deserve the same respect. Like, I mean, people always tell you show everybody the same amount of respect. Some people really don't deserve it.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, yeah, I mean if somebody's just being like a dick to you, I mean, obviously you don't have to be, you know, super nice to
Yeah,
them. I mean, I try to, because
I
you
tried
never
to,
know.
but every time I tried to, it just led to just name calling,
Yeah, more just
bullying,
not.
borderline bullying.
Yeah, just not good stuff. Yeah, it's
So,
usually I can kind of sniff out the bad vibes in people, and I usually
yeah.
just don't associate with people like that.
Like if somebody's like picking on me and I can tell they're, like legit joking,
Yeah, like I do to
like,
everybody.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I try to. Yeah, that's something that is
Like I
definitely like a good thing that I
if
do
you
is
had
like try to like I have fun with everybody and I make jokes at people's expense, but I try not to go
yeah,
too far.
yeah. No, like every time you've ever said anything about me or whatever, I already knew before whenever you started like saying something, I'm like, oh, here we go, it's gonna be a good one. I prepared to laugh with and not at, like,
Yeah.
because they were usually pretty good and true.
Yeah, they might have
And
been.
I knew you meant I knew you meant well by it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm never mean spirited with my humor. Because I mean, I poke, and I kind of balance that out too. Like, I poke fun at myself too a lot.
Oh yeah,
So,
I mean, you have to,
right.
like, especially in my case where I wasn't popular and I was bullied. I wouldn't put it that way. Like
Yeah.
you have to like learn how to laugh at yourself to be able to not
Yeah.
care.
Yeah. 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 It helps put things in perspective too. Because it's like,
Yeah,
well, like if I'm sitting here making jokes about it, is it really that bad?
yeah. Like that was always my rule. You have to be able to laugh at yourself or you can laugh at somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a pretty good rule of thumb to live by.
But god dang it, we trailed off again and I forgot where it was at.
No, that's fine. That's the whole point. We're at
Uh,
48 minutes right now. We still got plenty of time. Even if we want to go past an hour, that's totally fine. You
I
know.
do have to get off soon though. Work
Okay.
is not right away, but I have to be up at 5 a.m. So
Ah, that's tough.
yeah.
Yeah, we can go for a little longer though, as long as you want to,
Oh yeah.
because I've got plenty of time. 'Cause I still got a little bit before
Yeah.
college stuff really starts
Hmm.
getting serious. So
Yeah. Usually Saturdays will be the like latest I can stay
okay,
because it's just I don't have work the next day.
right,
Like
yeah,
Friday and Saturday nights is usually when I can stay latest on.
yeah. That's
Which
that's that's something that I've kind of almost like had to break, not necessarily had to break out of, but I think now that I'm a little older, it's like I can't. Sometimes if I'm the rare occasion that I'll get on with the boys and play some games, I'll always be like the first one to like get off and go to bed. I just can't stay up that late anymore. Like
same. Like literally the other
like it's
night I was
like I can, like I'm physical,
yeah
I could. I just feel, I just
don't
it
want
just
to.
yeah, it just doesn't feel good. Like
Yeah,
I
you just
remember,
don't.
like I remember being able to stay up till like 3 or 4 a.m. playing fucking Destiny raids with people, and
Yeah.
now I just even the thought of like staying up past like I don't know, probably like 11 to upload this fucking podcast to YouTube. It's like, man, I'm pushing it.
Oh yeah. But no, like weekends usually I'll either stay up till 4 or 5 a.m. or pass out before midnight. And by pass out, I mean like actually pass out in my computer chair.
Oh damn, that's never happened to me.
And don't. It's not good for your back. But yeah, no, because I think I got most of my horrible sleeping out during high school. Because literally for the last half of our senior year, I'd go to bed at 2, 3, 4 in the morning and wake up at like 6.
Oh God.
6 at the latest, I should say.
Oh Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
so
thing. That's the thing that sucked about school. I think that was probably out of all the issues that we could probably go off on about, that's probably the worst. Is just the the bad like sleeping times, and because like the
oh
fact that you
yeah,
have to get up so early. Like the last couple of years of our high school wasn't too bad because this year, well, last year, I don't know the correct term, but classes started at 8, which wasn't bad, and then junior year was 8:10, so literally 10 minutes after 8, which that was fine.
yeah. The beginning of our high
But that
school
was
though.
also during COVID, so like, you could literally get up like right then, and you'd still be on time
Yeah,
for online
but
classes.
the beginning of our high school though, it started what 7 something.
7:35, yeah,
Yep,
was the start
7:35.
was the start time.
Mm.
So I had to get up a lot earlier than that. That was awful. I hated
Oh yeah.
every moment of that.
But yeah, that's why I always seemed so groggy in school because I was ready to pass out where I stood.
Yeah, I know. Because I feel like everybody was like that to a
Oh
certain
yeah.
degree. I knew that,
My
there were probably some classes that I probably could have done a little bit better in if school didn't start
I
so early.
yeah, literally like the our senior year, I only had one class that I had to pass to, graduate. One.
Oh, jeez.
Just English.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't have to take many classes because I went to
Yeah, 'cause you went to technical school, yeah, Votech.
yep,
So,
yep.
yeah.
And I went to technical school, so I only had 4 classes at Portage.
Yeah, so basically where we live in the middle of fucking nowhere, Pennsylvania.
Bumfuck. I call
Yeah,
it bumfuck Pennsylvania.
yeah, that's basically what it is, just like Hick Central. But yeah, basically what our school was that you had the option to go to a technical school that was pretty close by for, well, relatively close by for half the day, and then so when you're actually at the main building, it's just like the core classes that you need to pass high school, and then for the second half of the day, you would go to the technical school to get your certifications to do all sorts of different shit. I didn't
Yeah,
go because none of the stuff was really for me, but I know a
yeah.
lot of people that did.
Tech is more for like if you want to do a hands-on job.
Yeah, like if you want something more hands-on, you want like, kind of just like a steady career, like right after high school, that's usually like that's the move. But
Yeah, a
obviously
lot of them
that's
are
not
like
for me, so
guaranteed. There's a job somewhere for you. Classes
yeah,
like in our area, I took auto body, obviously, and
right, yeah. That's
our
working
area,
on
like
cars and stuff.
yeah, like the exterior body damage and everything, collision
Mm,
repair is how I should put it. I mean, around us, there's like a good 15, 20 shops within half an hour. So
mm,
like,
yeah,
if I really wanted to, I could just figure out which one's hiring, which one pays the best, and which one's willing to hire me.
yeah,
Like
yeah. Which one's the best for you, whichever, for
the only
whatever
reason
criteria.
the only reason I went to the one I'm at now is because the teacher at the technical school like recommended it,
Okay.
and I really wish I wouldn't have even went there to be honest with you, because
Mm,
it's not the pay just really isn't it's underpay. Like, in your opinion, Travis, what do you
hmm
think a collision repair technician should be paid?
Um,
Like,
I wouldn't even really know. What all
yeah,
work do you have to do?
okay, so it could vary all the way from simply putting some body filler on a dent all the way to cutting an entire like piece off of a car and reattaching it.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, like and then take we so far the worst I've done is literally taking an entire roof off a car and putting a new one on.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So, in
Have
your
you?
opinion, what do you think would be a fair start pay for a job like that?
I I really have no idea. Cause I guess I mean obviously like over $10 an hour, obviously. So
Yeah.
something more along those lines. But
Yeah.
but
Which,
yeah, I wouldn't even know where to begin with that shit because
well,
I know nothing about cars.
yeah, usually places around here start at like 14 an hour and go up.
Okay.
I'm getting 11.
Hmm.
But then when you factor in
Yeah,
uh,
obviously.
si 60 miles a day,
Yeah,
puts on
travel
miles
times.
really, yeah, it puts on miles really quick.
Yeah,
Five,
especially yep, especially with the way that fuel prices are, it's pretty
yeah,
crazy.
almost $5 a gallon.
Yeah, was $5 a gallon for a little
And
bit for a while.
that's true. 50 bucks won't even fill my car anymore, and it's a tiny little car.
Yeah,
But
not good.
no. So whenever you factor all that stuff in, because you're adding miles a lot quickly every day, things break, obviously.
hmm
So when you factor in vehicle repairs, gas prices, oil changes, tires, all this, basic stuff that cars need,
hmm
it probably I'll be losing money rather than gaining.
I don't know. That's yeah, that's not great.
Literally, the only good thing I'm getting from it is just experience,
Yeah,
and that's
which I
only
mean,
good for so far.
yeah, I mean that can be valuable for some people, but not.
Like I did, Votech was having a, they were hiring for a auto body assistant, so I put in an application up there, but they said that they had an in-house person transfer there, so
Ah, okay,
all that fun stuff, and then they said that auto technician was still available. So I said, well, would you consider me for that? And I never got a response. So I guess not.
yeah. How long ago was did you say that?
Um,
Because I was going to say there still might be a chance, but depends on how long.
well, I got the original message saying, unfortunately, an in house person transferred into that position July 4th. It is now the 10th.
Okay,
And that same day, I replied. So,
okay.
and they already had a board meeting the 6th. So
Mm.
it's probably safe to say,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, definitely look out for some more
Yeah.
options, and it sounds like you have some, so that's good.
But my biggest thing with that was I know the um I know the shop there because I obviously just spent 2 whole years at it. So I know everything there like the back of my hand. I know where
hmm
everything's located, I know how every tool works, and I know how to use every resource that's there.
hmm
Mixed with the it's only to Evansburg, so I'm already saving a lot of miles.
Okay, yeah, yeah, that's obviously a lot closer
Plus
from where
going
we're
to
at.
oh yeah, plus going to Altoona from where we're at in the winter.
Yeah,
Um,
not not fun.
The word I'm thinking of, what is it? Oh, sketchy.
Yeah,
Where going to Evansburg, the hardest part is Munster Road. Once you're past that, you're on the highway.
Mm,
But going to Altoona, I have to go through Lily and then around to the highway and take exits around the highway, and it's just going to be sketchy.
yeah.
And
I
you know
mean,
how
driving in
trail
conditions like that is
go.
always nerve-wracking,
Oh yeah.
no matter where you're going.
Luckily, I have trust in my car, but I do know where its limits are, and yeah,
Yeah, rather than not push those limits.
yeah, because I'm the kind of person I've taken my car, to safe places where I know there's not going to be traffic at times where I know there's not going to be people, like
Mhm,
in said conditions. And I've tested, like, oh, okay, well, there's no trees to hit, no guardrails, no people, no parked cars. Where does this car limit itself? And so far, I haven't hit the car's limits. I've hit my limits.
mm,
So I'm perfectly like, even on pure ice, I know where my car is limited at,
yeah.
which honestly, that is a good thing to do is find a, safe place and practice like, oh, in the event that I somehow have to, swerve and I spin out or something, how do I correct that? How do I figure out like how to fix that? You know what I
Mhm,
mean?
yeah.
Because then you're more prepared because the truth of it is it all happens to everybody.
Yeah.
Like you can't go your entire life of driving a car and not have an accident. It's going to happen.
Mhm.
Even if it's not your fault, there's bad drivers out there. It's going to happen.
Yeah, that's something that I've kind of had to start kind of think rationally thinking of as I'm starting to learn. But
Yeah.
honestly, I'm
Like,
glad that I started learning now versus whenever I was like 15, because I
mm,
don't know, I feel more mature than I was back then. I mean, I'm still an
yeah.
idiot, but I'm not as much of an idiot.
Yeah, I'm not
There's
gonna
the
lie. A
but
lot of me going off into the park and, doing sketchy driving was for fun, not really for learning, but I learned while doing it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, I learned just by doing it, but yeah, I'm glad that I learned now that I'm a bit older, because then I feel like I'm more. I feel like I'm able to take it more seriously,
Yeah, that makes sense.
and I'm not like taking it for granted almost. I guess because
Yeah,
it'd be like, oh, it's been like, oh, I've been able to do this for a couple of years. It's like, no, I'm just figuring out how to do it. I mean, I know how to do it. It's not like I can't,
yeah,
but obviously, I'm not as good of a driver as I could be, which
yeah,
is kind of exciting, you know.
yeah. Which with driving, for me, wise at least, driving in like horrible weather. I'm talking like snow past your tires kind of weather.
Yeah,
I know what my car can do. I know what I can do, and I know like so I'm not worried driving in those conditions about what would happen to my car or me. I'm
mm,
more worried about what somebody else is doing because not
yeah,
everybody goes out and practices like, oh, I hit ice. My car's going not the direction I told it to. Uh-oh.
yeah,
And then some people just kind of lock up and freeze and don't know what to do. But me, because I sat and practiced all this stuff with multiple failures, I know like, okay, my car's going this way. I have to do this to make it not go that way on this condition,
mm,
which I do. That might be a good point to leave it off on now that it's 10:34.
yeah. You just
Is
yeah.
find a safe.
Everybody has different driving habits, and everybody thinks differently about it. So
Yeah,
obviously, you got to take that into consideration whenever you're on the road.
yeah. But I will say, for most of the listeners, some of you, I don't know, you can't be helped, I guess. But I will say, in just whenever there's poor weather, go to a spot you know there's going to be nobody around at a time you know there's going to be no chance of people coming around, and practice like an open parking lot. Like practice maneuvers like evasive, no, not evasive maneuver. That sounds like you're going to run from the cops.
Yeah, no.
Pra-
I'd hope that nobody would be practicing that kind of stuff.
No, no. The better wording would be practice countermeasures to if things go wrong.
Yeah,
It's like buying something even if you don't need it then. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
yeah. That's
Those
the mod.
basic skills, it's like
Yeah, that's the rule I always live by. If you, it's better to have something and not need it than need it and not have it.
exactly, which is how I see my driving. Like, oh, I
Hmm.
have these skills. I'm probably never going to need it, but in the case, like, say I have to go out and it's pouring rain and I can't see more than 2 feet in front of my car and I have to go somewhere. I don't know what the situation would be, but I know how to handle it better
Hmm.
because I know what my car will do and I know how to counter what it's trying to do.
Yeah,
And I may or may not have damage on the front of my car from learning such skill, but whatever, it's
yeah.
okay.
I mean, if it didn't get damaged from that, it'd probably be for something else.
Exactly. I mean, it's just a little scratch on the, well, it's a pretty good gouge on the bumper, but whatever. I didn't hit nobody else. Nobody else was around,
Yeah.
so I didn't hurt nobody else. I didn't slow nobody else's pathway down. I didn't do anything to anybody else. It was all me.
Yep.
And that's, I mean, if you damage your car, learning how to control it, I mean, it sucks, it is what it is, but
Yeah.
most of that damage is repairable.
Yeah.
So it's still better to know how everything's going to react.
Yeah. Just being knowledgeable and
Yeah.
about everything. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely
Which
a good thing.
do you did you get your permit? And are you on your permit, or
Yeah,
did you go straight to
I've been on my
license?
permit for a while.
Okay. I don't know if you went to your license test or not yet.
No, not yet. Probably
Okay.
sometimes soon. Whenever I feel ready. I'm not.
Whenever you feel yourself ready.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not being pressured by anybody to get
Yeah.
my license at
Yeah.
a particular time, which is nice. I'm glad that I'm in a situation like that.
Yeah. I'm not trying to pressure you, but if it sounded like I was.
No, no, it was fine.
Okay.
No,
But
don't, my friend.
if you do, whenever you do get your license, I will say, if you have your own car at least, I wouldn't recommend this with your parents' car.
No.
I will say drive
Whatever you're
it
about to say now, I won't.
in your own car. I will say it will help you to go slowly through the park in the middle of like good winter. Like I'm talking snow on the roads winter.
Okay,
And just kind of like in the flatter areas where there's not really much to feel, going slowly, like jerk your wheel back and forth a little bit, feel where your car loses traction. And
okay,
if you're going up the hill towards the pole, usually there's an ice patch that forms right below that stop sign there.
okay. Yeah,
So
I'll
it
keep
wouldn't be
that.
a bad idea to kind of feel what ice feels like.
Hmm.
Because if you're not ready for ice, you're going to be panicking, which in turn will drop your, you know,
Yeah,
reaction.
yep. Okay.
So,
Yeah, that's something to think about.
and if you're not going fast, you don't have much to worry about
Yeah,
because you'll have plenty of stopping distance.
yeah, yeah, of course.
That's kind of where I learned my snow driving is just going through the park a few times in the middle of winter.
Yeah, I mean,
Because I mean,
however you're able to learn is however you're able to learn.
exactly. I mean, who goes to the park in winter? You're not
Exactly.
the only thing you have to really worry about is just damaging your own property.
Yeah.
Unless you hit one of their fences or the fish aquarium thing.
Yeah,
Don't do that. I almost did that.
yeah. Wouldn't be good.
No, it
Oh,
wasn't.
yeah. I think on that note, it's a good time to call it. So
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody who's been listening, and if you made it this far, we appreciate you. Maybe consider dropping a like or maybe hitting that subscribe button on my channel. That really helps out a lot. Make sure to go follow the podcast on Spotify also, because that's where it'll be uploaded to if you want to listen to it on the go. If you don't have YouTube Premium, which most people I don't think do, but I'm rambling. So, yeah. And is there anything you want to add before we leave?
Yeah, just practice safe driving
Yeah, that's a good.
because we need more good drivers on the road.
Yes, I agree.
Like, yeah, just practice safe driving, people.
hmm Yep, just be safe out there, take care of each other, and have a good one.